welcome to the Show Me the Money podcast. And I am, of course, Pat the Hat Stango. Who are you?
I'm Nick the Father Turner, and today on the show, we've got a lot to cover. We are going to be talking about the BAFTAs and the DGA awards that happened this past weekend, and we are looking forward to the SAG and the PGA awards that are happening this weekend. We are in the eye of the storm. It looks like it's calm because it's a Tuesday that we're recording, but Pat, don't go out and collect all that fish yet because there is more storm coming.
Oh my God. This past weekend, I had the windows boarded up. I was in the basement. I had the whole family down there with me because the BAFTA storm was raging. The DGA storm had already torn apart the neighborhood. This is amazing. I mean, let's get into it with these BAFTAs. I feel like
let's
BAFTAs,
get the DGAs out of the way, just because there's not really much to talk about. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's get it over with.
I think rip the Band-Aid off. Charlotte Wells won for Best New Director. The Daniels won for Best Director, and we knew that was going to happen. And then the doc, I guess, was it Fire of Love director there?
Yes.
So she's a lady. I forget her name.
Good. I mean, good for her. Big win. DGA is a big career win for anyone. So whoever she is, congratulations. Yeah. But I mean, listen, the big one is the Best Director for a feature film went to the Daniels for Everything Everywhere. And here's what I'll say about that. I think the one this hurts the most is Steven Spielberg. If Steven Spielberg was going to win the Oscar for Best Director, he needed to win the DGA. I think. For sure.
Especially him, because he was the only, maybe first or second runner in any of these categories that wasn't even nominated for a stupid BAFTA.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he needed this. You figure the DGA is going to be Spielberg's people. It's going to be a little bit more of an older, less international body than the Academy is going to be. And I think if Spielberg didn't win here, he becomes a real underdog for the Academy Awards. Honestly, at this point, Fabelmans feels like it's the Fadelmans, because it is fading. So I'm calling it the Fadelmans going forward. And I don't know if Spielberg is even running second for the Oscar for Best Director after what happened this weekend. I feel like
maybe Martin McDonagh is getting some new love. And Spielberg's biggest fan, Todd Field, he ain't gonna win, but he's getting closer.
He's getting closer. You're right. I mean, by the end of this, Spielberg might be placed sixth in the Oscars out of the five.
Sure,
he's really fading.
I think Dolly De Leon is going to get fifth place in Best Director for the Oscars.
Yeah, and she deserves it. She's got to
get something.
So the Daniels really are the big winners coming out of the DGAs. Are they the favorites to win the Academy Award for Best Director? I mean, they have to be.
Well,
at this
they
point.
have been for a while.
Yeah. And this solidifies it. The DGAs are usually very predictive, so that's big. But the BAFTAs. Now can we talk?
I can't wait to see who wins Best Director at the BAFTAs.
I mean,
I think it's going to clear up all of our questions going forward. I think whoever wins Director at the BAFTAs, they're a shoo-in.
Oh, so you're saying then the clear favorite to win Best Director of the Academy Awards is the BAFTA winner, Ed Berger, who is not nominated.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Yes, I'm saying that obviously to highlight the fact that the BAFTAs were batshit Pat Stango.
Yeah. They were the batshits for sure.
The BAFTAs.
Yeah. So
my favorite soft drink.
So these British folks, these limey pricks, I say with love, they loved All Quiet on the Western Front. They loved them.
Have you seen this movie, Patty?
I have not watched it yet.
Okay, I watched the first, let's say 45 minutes.
Okay.
So good.
So good. Okay.
It's so good.
Why not finish it at that point? Was it too good?
Oh no, I was on a plane, and that was how far I got into it.
Got it. They wouldn't do this circle around for you for a couple hours, let you finish it.
No,
That's a
well,
shame.
I'd spent too much time watching Lilyhammer.
I mean, listen, it's hard not to.
I was
Netflix's first
finally
original
getting into
series.
Lilyhammer
Yeah.
because I'm a big Netflix fan, and I wanted to start at the beginning.
Yeah, you've got that
I'm a
queue, but that
completist.
queue goes back a long time.
Yeah.
Wow, the beginning of Netflix. But the
Ah, the
BAFTAs
queue.
loved All Quiet on the Western Front.
All quiet on the Western Front.
They
Wow.
love this war movie. This is World War One. Yes, World War One. So they're really nostalgic.
No,
This
it's not
wait, World
World
War
War.
Two? What is it?
Yes,
It's World
it's
War
World War
Two.
Two.
I haven't seen the film and I haven't read the
That's
book since high
fine.
school.
That's fine. It's definitely World War Two.
Okay, great. Okay, so that makes sense that everyone loves
Yeah.
World War II. Yeah, they love this movie. And
I'm
listen,
not sure World War One happened.
I mean, it's definitely like what people said about the first Avatar movie. It's a big deal at the time, but it's not as culturally relevant anymore. There's not that many memes about it on Twitter, so it's not that important. But BAFTAs, All Quiet
Oh
on the
my
Western
God.
Front.
It's World War One.
It is World War One because it's trench warfare. That's what I
Okay.
know about this. It's trench warfare.
Yeah, it's trench warfare, but I don't appreciate looking stupid on my own podcast.
Yeah, you watch, but to be fair, you watched the 45 minutes where they didn't say what war it was yet.
Yeah,
It was
you
like
know what?
still
In World
that's
War
the
One,
twist.
they don't mention that there's another one coming.
Right. So
It's
they
a
never
war. That's all
yeah.
they say. They don't say World War One.
Yeah, no, that's the big second act midpoint twist of this movie is that, oh, it's actually been World War II the whole time, World War One the whole time. Anyway, here we go. Is All Quiet on the Western Front? Which one? Best director. It won best film at the BAFTAs. There's also a best British film category that Banshees won, but All Quiet won best film. It won just a bunch of under the line awards. It won also best film not in the English language. So I think that sews up. It's going to win the Academy Award for best foreign film. And it won best director, like we said. Is All Quiet on the Western Front now actually an Academy Award contender for best picture? It's nominated, but I mean, does this matter for that movie?
Okay, that movie it's so funny, because BAFTAs, yes, they're a great predictor. Can a German film more easily win the BAFTA than the Oscars? Obviously. I don't think this means that it has a shot at winning, but I do think it moves ahead of The Fabelmans.
Wow. Wait, so you are at this point saying All Quiet is a
Sleeper.
like top 5 contender for best picture?
I don't think you can win BAFTAs and not be just straight up a top 5 contender. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of people voted on this that are going to vote for the Oscars. This movie is a juggernaut.
Wow. So here is a movie that I think this could be bad for. I think 2 movies. I think that All Quiet gaining this momentum is bad for Banshees because I do think Banshees of Inisherin to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Buddy, it didn't win a single fucking Critics' Choice. It didn't win anything but fucking The Lady and the Tramp category of Best British Film. Nobody wants that. What an embarrassment.
Yeah, Best British Film is like, when I don't know what it's like. It's like Best Grandpa or something like that.
No,
of course, you're who else was I going to give that cup to? I only have one grandpa.
I got the prize for oldest grandpa. Great job, Grandpa.
Right.
Okay, so it's done.
Banshees is
consideration.
You think,
as is Colin Farrell.
Okay, I mean listen, I think the bigger story than All Quiet on the Western Front from the BAFTAs is in the category of Best Actor. Austin Butler for Elvis won Best Actor at the BAFTAs. He beat Brendan Fraser, which we expected he wasn't going to win, but Colin Farrell did not win on his home court.
I had money on Brendan Fraser. I thought he was going to do it.
I listen, I thought Farrell was a sure thing. So last week on this show, we both said Elvis is not a big deal in the UK. And boy, were we wrong. These Brits, these limey pricks, I say with love, they love Elvis and they love Austin Butler as Elvis. Is Austin Butler, am I correct that I've been saying it since the start of the show? Is Austin Butler now in the proverbial catbird seat to win the Academy Award for Best Actor?
Let's talk about why they would vote for him and not Brendan Fraser.
Okay.
Is there anything specifically British about this? Like, I'm not sure the Brits can properly identify with a 600-pound man the way that we can.
Right. They're not on an average as gluttonous as Americans.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that film, if you just think it's like, oh, some disgusting man, you can't see yourself, a member of your family in there, which all Americans can.
Right.
See both themselves and a member of their family in that character.
Right.
I guess, Darren Aronofsky, he's just, I don't think he travels well.
Okay. I mean, he barely travels well within the United States. So once you bring ocean into it, that's an even tougher sell. I get what you're saying. Americans are definitely more apt to see themselves in a large man who can't move, who masturbates while eating a hoagie sandwich. That is uniquely American experience.
And Brits they can see themselves in someone who grew up like a sexy young man.
Right.
And then due to poor health habits, started to look 80 when he was 40. I think Brits can identify with that better than anything.
Yes. And the other thing about Elvis, about Austin Butler, is this is a Baz Luhrmann film. Baz Luhrmann is Australian. BAFTA then is probably more apt to want to honor Baz Luhrmann than the United States is. I mean, Baz Luhrmann's never got an Academy Award nomination for Best Director. So I think that helps. But listen, here's the thing. Austin Butler has now won a BAFTA, an Academy that has a lot of overlap with the Academy of Arts and Sciences. If Austin Butler wins the SAG Award this weekend, it's over. If Austin Butler wins the SAG this coming weekend, it is over. He will win the Oscar. Slam doink. Fraser has to win the SAG to have any chance.
Yeah, I will fully concede this fact. Which is obviously hard for me to do, to say Austin Butler is even nominated.
Right.
Because I've been fighting you tooth and nail. And to my credit, you've been arguing for Austin Butler and Elvis and Baz Luhrmann. And look, not every part of this movie's panned out.
Right.
It looks like it's not even going to get editing. Or production design. What the hell is it up for?
I mean, makeup. It's up for all these under the line awards. I don't think it gets production design. I'm feeling more confident that Elvis will win Best Makeup at the Oscars. I feel like The Whale is fading. The Whale is fading. But I mean, the big one is Best Actor. Austin Butler pulled off the upset this weekend. I mean, I think Colin Farrell is fully in a distant third place after not winning the BAFTA. And it's a 2-horse race between Austin Butler and Brendan Fraser going forward. Unless the SAG totally throws in obviously if Colin Farrell somehow wins the SAG Awards, then who knows? But chances are it's going to be Butler or Fraser wins this weekend, and then one of them's going to win the Oscar. Farrell had to win the BAFTA, and he didn't do it. He came up short at home. This is Patrick Ewing in the 1990s, losing at the Garden with a finger roll.
He's the Buffalo Bills for 4 years.
Yeah, it's bad. So, I mean, that was one of the big shockers of the BAFTAs. I mean, to me, the other big BAFTA shocker, because like Cate Blanchett won Best Actress, so just continuing on the path to where she's
no
going.
shocker there.
The supporting categories had two shockers in a sense.
Oh my God. They had one of the single biggest shockers in the history of movie awards. A bigger shock than anything, a bigger shock than All Quiet on the Western Front,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
This is the fact that Colin Farrell didn't win after this shocker.
Yes.
That fully cements all of his fingers in a burning house.
Yes. Well, say it. What was the shocker of which you speak?
Barry Keoghan beat Kiwi Kwan for Best Supporting Actor. We knew he was going to sweep every Academy or every award.
Yeah.
Show. And he has, but he didn't.
He didn't do it. And, listen, people are saying, no, BAFTA's all white and all that. We don't really get into that stuff. But if any award show was going to be the one where Kiwi Kwan didn't win, it would be the BAFTAs. They went for the hometown hero, Barry Keoghan. They overlooked the diverse candidate, whatever. It's BAFTA's BAFTA, whatever. But
yeah.
It's still shock. It's still, even at the BAFTAs, it's still crazy to see Kiwi Kwan not win a supporting actor. I don't think this means anything for the Oscars or the SAGs. I mean,
well, I'll tell you what, as of now, it has plummeted Kiwi Kwan's odds for Oscar Best Supporting Actor from, I believe, minus 10,000 all the way to minus 10,000. 1,000.
Okay.
It's all the same.
It's
Nothing
all the
has
same.
changed.
It shouldn't.
They realized that was over across the pond. But what has changed, Pat,
Yes.
is that Mr. Number 2, entire award season's number 2, Brendan Gleeson, is now number 3.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting. They're going with the younger guy, and it kind of makes sense because the clip I've seen everyone talk about since this movie got on TV has been the scene with Barry Keoghan and Carrie Condon. There's that scene where they're by the water in Banshees and he's asking her out and she's saying, "No way, Jose." And he's like, "Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'll just go, maybe go drown myself," or, that scene that everyone loves. That's become the big scene. And I think that, I get why that moves Barry Keoghan up in front of Brendan Gleeson. But what that scene also does is Carrie Condon, I think, is a legitimate contender to win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. I don't think the BAFTAs are a unique thing when it comes to that category. I've been saying her for a while.
Not.
Angela Bassett is the weakest of the favorites.
This is the kind of thing where if you don't follow all the award shows and then on Oscar night, you're like, okay, well, let's look at the odds. It's Angela Bassett by a mile.
Right.
And then Carrie Condon wins. And most people at, normie parties are like, what? Yeah, what?
Right.
How did that happen?
Right.
But it's like a coin flip now. And this is how important this was. Okay, so let's talk about the Best Director category. I know we already talked about it, but let's talk about it in terms of how the lines have changed.
Okay.
Now, remember when Mike and Mike were here and they were telling me, oh, I don't know about all that money you have on the Daniels, because I do have a lot of money on the Daniels.
Yes. It's
that's
scary.
that's the most I have on anybody.
And
I started buying up the Daniels at plus 700.
Oh, God. That's great.
And now it's minus 1,200. Minus 1,200. It has been living at like minus 150, minus 200 since the last award shows, the Critics' Choice Award.
Wow.
But it is just out of the fucking water, and they're untouchable. Nothing else is going to happen here.
Yes. Well, there's no other directing races before now in the Oscars. It's right. You get the DGAs and that's it.
Yeah.
So that was if anything that we have said.
Well, you got the Spirit Awards, but
Yeah, I don't think Spielberg is up for that, or at this point, I would say if anything we've said on the show, if it has led people to months ago getting in early and putting money on the Daniels, that is a worthy reason for this show to have existed, because
Yeah.
that was, we were in so early,
Mhm.
like you said, when they were underdogs, such underdogs, and now they are basically slam doinks.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at any best director race for the Oscars, if I'm not putting money on the Daniels, I'm only putting underdog money on Martin McDonagh. I think Spielberg is toast.
Okay, so can we just do like a little, I know we like to do, victory laps, but
Yeah.
the fact that all the legit award season prognosticators, every
Yes.
one of them
You know who you are.
said, you know who the fuck you are, because
You're
it's
listening.
every show but ours.
Yes.
They said that the Fabelmans would win. They said that Spielberg would win.
Yep.
They literally thought that. Not that he had a shot, or not that he could be a spoiler to the Daniels. Everyone said that he would win from the very first episode. We, as a podcast, said Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win.
Yes.
And that the Fabelmans and Brendan Fraser were not going to win.
Yes.
Now Brendan Fraser, obviously, we may have come around on a little bit. But it doesn't look good for him. Not as good as it looked. Now let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Let's see where his odds. I mean,
yeah, he's at minus 120, and Austin Butler is at plus 115, which hasn't changed a ton. But what has changed, Pat, is that Colin Farrell has slipped to plus 600, right behind Bill Nighy, who has now moved. I'm just kidding. Of course, Bill Nighy
for a second,
dead and buried.
I was gonna say that would be like somehow the people making the betting lines just got angry at Colin Farrell for not winning. Like it didn't even make sense to move the line that way, but they were just mad at him for losing the BAFTA.
Pat, do you know, before I look it up, whether Cate Blanchett is nominated for a Spirit Award?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I would believe so. I feel like Tar would qualify.
Yeah.
For an Indie Spirit Award.
Okay.
It's a fairly small
so
movie.
Ana de Armas and Bill Nighy share the same odds of plus 5,000. Cate Blanchett is sitting at minus 280. Not much of a change, but a little worse odds than before. Michelle Yeoh is plus 185. Andrea Riseborough is still plus 1,200. Nothing's going to happen with her because she isn't nominated for anything else.
Yeah.
Michelle Williams plus 4,000. Who gives a shit? So, that's pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean, Blanchett. Listen, as far as the Oscars, this weekend SAG Awards, which we'll get into in a bit, are going to be a huge deal. And I think settling the Blanchett versus Michelle Yeoh category, and in the momentum for, best actor. And again, supporting actress, I think is a total crapshoot. And honestly, if you gun to my head right now, I think Carrie Condon is winning the Oscar.
Gun to your head.
I don't know why anyone would go through the trouble of getting a gun, putting it to my head, just ask me who's going to win Best Supporting Actress. But
well, okay. So Pat, I put some money. I spread some money around.
Okay.
And I reported to you that I was up $65.
Love it.
Now that's not true.
Oh no. What happened?
Well, I'm not down. I'm just up less because my big win, I had $4 on All Quiet on the Western Front to win, which paid out $48, Pat.
Oh my God.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
That's one of those things where you just throw a few bucks on it. It's obviously a possibility.
Right.
It's going to feel so good. And I did, and it felt great.
Oh my God.
But the other big win that I had was I said I'd put $20 on Carrie Condon to win,
Mm-hmm.
which won $50 for me,
Mm-hmm.
which felt great. However, I had made a mistake.
Oh
Carrie
no.
Condon was minus 200 for the BAFTAs.
Okay.
So I did not put money on her to win the BAFTA. I put money on her to win the Academy Award,
Okay.
which was much better odds at plus 250.
Okay, got it. So you're waiting to have that win because, like I said, I'm feeling like Carrie Condon is gonna pull that out.
Yeah.
I think listen, I think a big issue for Angela Bassett at the BAFTAs, and again, whatever racial problems there are with the BAFTAs, you could say that for sure. But I do think the bigger problem for her with that award and probably with the Academy Awards is, are you going to give a Marvel movie an acting award? And I still feel in my bones, and I know Joker has won 2 Academy Awards, but Joker is a DC property and Joker is just more prestige. I do not think anyone wants to give
Joker's not a superhero movie.
Joker's not Joker. Listen, Joker is just a great character up there with Othello and Michael Corleone and all that. So, yeah. But I don't think they're going to give.
He's Travis Bickle.
He's Joker is an all-time classic character, but I don't think they're going to give a Marvel movie an acting award. I don't think that's what I think the big problem is. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anybody cares about that. Like, I hate Marvel movies, but I don't care.
Yeah, but you're not like a 74-year-old, like former hairdresser, former movie producer who votes for the Academy Awards. I think that person, who's actually 94, I think that person is iffy about giving an award to a Marvel movie.
I don't know if there's as many 92-year-olds in this body as you think there are.
But like with government races, the older voters are the ones who vote, and the younger ones are the ones who forget to cast their ballots. So that 94-year-old former hairdresser who was a movie producer in the 70s, he's putting his ballot in.
Yeah, well, okay, that's going to get exciting. Do you want to hit up any category that we haven't talked about?
From the BAFTAs, let me just scan real quick and see if there's anything else of note. So Banshees did win Best British Film, but that, like we said, that doesn't matter.
And I'm assuming the All Quiet on the Western Front won cinematography because it is now minus 500.
Well, let's look quickly just at the 2 screenplay races and how those shape up out of the BAFTAs. So at the BAFTAs, Martin McDonagh won Best Original Screenplay. And I feel like at the Oscars, it's at this point, to me, a 2-horse race between McDonagh and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm starting to feel like McDonagh, not just because he won the BAFTAs on his home turf, but it's a way of giving that movie an Oscar when the Daniels are probably already going to get Best Director. So I could see that getting split.
I don't think, I do not subscribe to this bullshit where everyone says like, oh, they're going to give that to this movie and they're not going to give it to this movie because blah, 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 blah. That's not how anybody thinks. That's not how a single fucking person on earth thinks. And even if they do, there's no way you could assume.
It's not going to be a group think. No. But I do think voters are going to want to give McDonagh a screenplay award because he's, a writer's writer and he writes plays.
I think that the script for Everything Everywhere All at Once is its weak link. It's cast, it's directing, it's editing, it's production design, all of that.
Right.
I think and the script is just a script.
Right.
A script is just a script.
That's how they should open the Academy Awards.
With me singing anything I want.
And in the adapted screenplay category at the BAFTAs, All Quiet on the Western Front won. But I would say the movie that is the big other, the sort of not big favorite, but the favorite to win the Oscar for adapted screenplay still is because Women Talking wasn't nominated for a BAFTA.
Right.
But I do think All Quiet on the Western Front is going to give it a run for its money. And I think as we get closer and we see what happens at the WGAs, who knows? All Quiet may become the favorite for that category.
Look, if you loved All Quiet and you are thinking maybe you're not going to vote for it because you don't think it's going to win and you're trying to play the game a little bit, now you know that it can win anything.
Yes.
So it's not a wasted vote anywhere.
Right.
Especially with Best Adapted Screenplay, obviously.
Right.
It's number 2. It's plus 150 now. It's not even like a deal anymore.
Right. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think Women Talking has obviously always been a little bit soft because it didn't get any acting nominations. It didn't get a director nomination. So All Quiet, listen, it had a great BAFTAs, and I think it now has a chance of winning a bunch of under the line at the Oscars and maybe winning adapted screenplay.
Okay. Do you think that like Best British Animated Short, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, which already was the front runner for Best Animated Short for the Oscars, and now it's a mega front runner minus 500. Do you think that's over, or do you think My Year of Dicks plus 500 has a shot? Because that's the only one that anybody ever talks about other than The Boy, the Mole.
Well, interesting you bring that up because last night, because I sleep very little and just stay up to all hours of the night, I watched My Year of Dicks, which is now streaming on Hulu.
Yeah.
And I love this film. It was great. 25 minutes, very entertaining. I think something that could help this movie in that category is it's accessible. It's just sitting there on Hulu with all these other shows. And it's a pretty easy watch that I do think people are watching. Like I think Academy voters are probably finding that movie. I actually could see that pulling an upset. Of course, I'm biased because I just watched it last night.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a category as we get closer to the Oscars. We could go back and forth on a little bit. I'm looking forward to the animated short debate in a way I've never have before.
Okay. Let's are we good for BAFTA's recap? Is there any other stories we need to talk about?
I think it's time we start sagging.
Okay. Let's SAG and then let's PGA. Who's got more? Okay. Yeah. All right, let's SAG.
Yeah, let's SAG. Let's
right. So
make like our grandmas and SAG.
Oh.
How to do it.
These don't. Okay, here we go. All right. So number 1 film, we got Babylon, bud. Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Women Talking. I'm gonna pull up Bet US odds on this baby.
Go for it. That is what I am doing as well right now. So you were looking at the category of best cast, right? There you go. Best cast.
I am looking at the category of what?
There's best.
Sorry.
Best,
Yes. Best cast in outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture.
Right. So that's basically the SAG Awards equivalent of Best Picture.
Yeah. So Women Talking's out because
yeah.
it didn't get any individual nominations.
Yep, that's out. Yeah, I mean, it basically, this is a 2-horse
Babylon
race.
is out.
Babylon's out because it's Babylon. It's
Banshees of Inisherin is still the most individual acting nominations, save for me. Oh, well, I guess it's tied with Everything Everywhere All at Once.
They both have 4. They both have a double
Fabelman
nominee
both has
category.
2 joke nominations.
Yes.
For Michelle Williams and Judd Hirsch.
Yes. Yeah. Fabelman's has nominations that people immediately regretted the second after they were announced.
Now, Pascal.
So, yes.
I do need to bring up one thing, and it is that sometimes, is it true that people vote for movies in this category that they want to give acting nominations to, or acting awards to, that aren't nominated for other categories.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, this category will honor, I think, anyone who is in the opening credits of the movie. So it will also honor people, not just the people who are nominated individually, but just the cast going all the way down to like, and Jenny Slate in Everything Everywhere All at Once, or however deep they go into that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So do Banshees or Everything Everywhere All at Once stick out to you as having casts that people want to honor, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh people?
They do.
In these movies.
They definitely do.
Right?
Well,
right?
I mean, there's nobody else in Banshees, but
the naked cop, whoever that guy is.
Okay, can I let's go through past winners.
Oh, I love
last
this.
year Coda won.
Okay.
So obviously that was the eventual winner. And the year before that, Trial of the Chicago 7. Perfect example. So many incredible people in this cast. None of them are gonna win anything.
Right. It was a way of giving like Michael Keaton the award.
Can I tell you this cast? Sacha Baron Cohen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Michael Keaton, Frank Langella, Eddie Redmayne, Mark Rylance, Jeremy Strong. Come on.
Wow.
And it wasn't joke casting. It's not like cameo casting.
Right. It's not Michael Keaton showing up as Batman 89.
Right.
Yeah. But that movie did not win.
Yeah, but the previous year, Parasite did win.
Yes, that was a huge one.
Yeah. And the year before that, Black Panther. Year before that, 3 Billboards.
Interesting.
Hidden
So the
Figures,
McDonough movie. Mm-hmm.
Spotlight, Birdman, American Hustle, Argo, The Help, The King's Speech.
Okay. So some of those match up, some of those did.
Half and half.
It's pretty half and half. Yeah. Because King's Speech and Argo, and
so that
it's like every other year almost they match up. So
here's but
yeah.
Parasite had no acting nominations.
Right.
Black Panther had no acting nominations.
Right.
3 Billboards
had a bunch.
Might have had.
Yeah.
I mean, who besides Frances McDormand?
She won Best Actress at the Oscars, and I'm pretty sure Woody Harrelson
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell won the Oscar too.
Oh, he did.
And Woody Harrelson was up for that movie had 3 acting nominations for the Academy Awards. I'm guessing they probably had the same for the SAGs.
Can I tell you, put fucking Michael Keaton in your movie,
and
you're gonna win the cast award at the SAGs. Spotlight, Birdman.
Yeah. Trial of Chicago 7.
Trial of Chicago 7.
Yeah, that guy has 3 best cast SAG wins in like
this
6
decade.
years.
Yes.
Yeah. I think next year The Flash has a shot at winning the SAG for best cast because Michael Keaton cameos.
I put money on it.
Okay, here's what I'll say looking at some of these SAG best cast winners, especially in years in which it didn't match up with the best picture for the Oscar. You got Hidden Figures, Black Panther got one. Like we said, Parasite won Best Picture, got one. I do think the SAG Awards are they more likely voting body that will want to get some diversity up there, or will vote with that in mind in a way maybe the BAFTAs don't. Which I think if they're looking at this and they're like, which cast do we want to see standing up on that stage?
Yeah.
I think that favors Everything Everywhere All at Once over the cast of Banshees.
Yes, absolutely. If I'm picturing it in my mind, I see the cast of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Also, the Fabelmans aren't going to win, Pat, because the thing that we love about the Fabelmans is the director, the writer.
Yes.
It is not the cast of 3 people that we know.
No. Steven Spielberg did not play himself as a young man in this movie. That would have been interesting. I would have really loved to see that movie, but he had someone else play him.
Now, unfortunately, I think we've just described how the odds break down.
Okay.
Babylon, Women Talking, plus 2,000. Fablemans, plus 600. Banshees of Inisherin, plus 200. And Everything Everywhere All at Once, minus 225. I think this category is perfect.
Yeah, I don't see underdog money that's worth putting here.
No.
I think everything's going to win. I don't think the average actor in SAG is going to really think, oh, I want to get the Banshees cast up there over the Everything Everywhere cast. So
No,
I think,
because I think we're nervous about what Brendan Gleeson's hands will look like.
yes, because he's a method actor.
Yeah.
And that was the part of a lifetime. So
He actually had Domhnall Gleeson on the set of another movie because he was playing a father. So he's like, I had to have a kid.
He's great. I mean, listen, it shows in the work.
Yeah.
So let's move on then to I mean, we've talked about before, but best actor this weekend at the SAGs. This is the must win for Brendan Fraser. And on Bet US, he is minus 150. He's the favorite. Elvis, Austin Butler is second with plus 225. They still have Colin Farrell as plus 250. So he's in third, but not too far behind. Bill Nighy is plus 3,300. He has no chance. And of course, Adam Sandler was nominated for Best Actor at the SAG for Hustle. He's
those are Bill Nighy odds right
5,000.
there.
Amazing. So he's the one guy who didn't get the Oscar nomination. Paul Mescal replaces him in the Oscars. So listen,
so
this is a 3-horse race.
We all know what we're both going to say.
I mean, of course, I'm betting Austin Butler.
And of course, I'm betting Brendan Fraser.
I mean, here's the thing. I think, like I said, if Austin Butler wins the SAG this weekend, it's over.
I agree.
He's won the Oscar.
I agree.
Fraser has to win.
100%.
Last
100%.
weekend was a must win for Colin Farrell. This weekend is a must win for Brendan Fraser. That's basically what this race is right now.
Yeah. It's crazy how this has turned out. And I'm a little sad that Bill Nighy never had one fun day. But his whole life has been fun, so fuck him. Best actress.
So I mean, this is probably another one where the winner of this really tells you who's going to win the Oscar. So Michelle Yeoh is minus 135.
Doesn't.
Yeah, because you think if Michelle Yeoh wins, she's still not winning the Oscar.
Oh, of course not. Also, this is the fantasy ballot for the Oscars that everybody wanted.
Right. There's no Michelle Williams and no Riseborough.
And 2 black actresses.
Right. So you've got Daniel Deadwyler for Till and Viola Davis for The Woman King are both in here. They're both super long.
Can I ask
shots.
you a question?
Yes.
What
Always.
has Michelle Yeoh won that makes her a favorite over Cate Blanchett at the SAGs?
Well, they both won the Globe because Michelle Yeoh got the
Globes
actor in a comedy, actress in a comedy. They
especially in her specific situation, being her only competition is in a different category.
Yeah.
They wouldn't count even if they were in the same category.
It is interesting that Michelle Yeoh is the betting favorite. Let's take a look at the history of this category, best actress in a best leading actress at the SAG Awards. So, and see where those differ. Last year you had Jessica Chastain won the SAG, she won the Oscar. Year before that, Viola Davis won the SAG award for Ma Rainey. She did not win the Oscar. Frances McDormand won the Oscar, so a miss there. Renee Zellweger won both. Glenn Close famously won the SAG as the wife, but did not win the Oscar. Olivia Colman won that. Frances McDormand, 3 billboards, did the double, won the SAG and the Oscar. Emma Stone won the SAG and the Oscar. Brie Larson, SAG and Oscar. Julianne Moore, SAG and Oscar.
Yeah,
Kate Blanchett,
so there's nothing special about the SAGs, is what you're saying.
Most times they do.
Oh, did she win twice when she won her Oscars?
Julianne Moore did. Kate Blanchett did. Blue Jasmine year, she won the SAG and the Oscar. J Law won Silver Lining, SAG and Oscar. So here's another different one. 2011, Viola Davis won Best Actress for The Help for this at the SAG Awards, but Meryl Streep won the Oscar for The Iron Lady.
Kate Blanchett's first was Elizabeth, right?
Yes. No. Her first, she was nominated for that. Her first win was in Supporting Actress for The Aviator.
Supporting.
Yeah. So she's got a supporting and a Best Actress.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
She
So
did
this is
great.
time to right a wrong and get a second Best Actress.
So this, I think, is going to be Kate Blanchett. She's minus 105 compared to Michelle Yeoh's minus 135. And I just don't see what happened or why. I don't care. Put all your money on Kate Blanchett here. Double it up. Get it for Oscar money.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't get why she's not a heavy favorite, but hey, take advantage of it.
Especially after the BAFTA. It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Listen, supporting actor. Kiwi Kwan's going to win this, right? The BAFTAs doesn't matter.
No.
He's going to win the SAG award. It's a slam doink.
Yeah.
Is there any money to be had with him there? I don't think so. Right? I mean, you said, the odds are
Best supporting actor is minus 1,000. It's not worth touching.
Yeah. So
I mean, unless you want to put $4 on Barry Keoghan,
right?
And possibly win $60.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but honestly, it's a waste of $4. Kiwi Kwan is winning this.
That's what I thought when I bet on Everything Everywhere, or All Quiet on the Western Front. Okay, so then supporting actress Angela Bassett minus 225, Carrie Condon plus 175, and then the other three ladies, you know them, you love them, you won't vote for them.
Yeah, it's a 2-horse race here. So Carrie Condon's plus 175. I mean, obviously, this is the one that feels like you could get some underdog money on this weekend because
I'm going to say if Angela Bassett does not win this, then I think she's done for the Oscars.
I mean, I think if she doesn't win this, then immediately get all the money you can on Carrie Condon for the Oscars before they change the line.
Because Angela Bassett, half of her goodwill, or why everyone thinks she's going to win, is because she won the Golden Globe, which doesn't matter.
Yeah. Here, listen, a former co-host and a one-time guest of the show who analyzes the speeches of these award shows, Clayton, Speech King, and when we did our post Golden Globes episode, he really criticized Angela Bassett's speech. The fact that she was reading off a phone, he didn't think the speech worked well in the room. And I think we're going to find out Saturday if he was right, because if Carrie Condon wins that supporting actress, it could be because people didn't like Angela Bassett reading her speech off a phone at the Golden Globes. That is how these things are decided.
Okay. Best stunt ensemble in a motion picture. We got Batman, Woman King, Avatar, Black Panther, Top Gun. Top Gun is riding high at minus 375. And buddy, this movie has to win this because no movie on earth has had so much goodwill with nowhere to put it.
Yes, it's true.
It's true. This one, finally, it's like, yeah, fucking give it to him.
Because does Tom Cruise get this SAG if Top Gun Maverick wins? Like, he's not a stunt man, but he's an actor who does his own stunts.
I mean, he's in the stunt ensemble.
Yeah.
And also, Avatar, if anyone saw Avatar in a theater, you saw a commercial for Tom Cruise doing stunts.
Yes. That's incredible. You're right, because we all saw the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, like 8-minute,
where he says, I want to do it again, and does it the exact same way and changes nothing and wastes everybody's time.
Yeah. But we loved it. It was great to watch.
We loved it.
He's got to win this, and so the Top Gun Maverick is the favorite at minus 375. I just don't see where else anyone would even consider giving the stunt award, because Black Panther Wakanda Forever is all in front of a green screen. There are no stunts in that movie. Avatar Way of Water, green screen. There aren't actually stunts in that movie. and then Woman King and Batman are probably have a lot of practical stunts, but neither of those are going to win. I don't think I think this is another one where it's not really worth betting on this other than to just throw money on the favorite and win like 50 cents.
Yeah, I mean, and it's boring. It's boring to bet on this. I would say out of all the categories that we've discussed here at the SAG Awards, you should put your money on Cate Blanchett at -105 for Best Actress. I don't think you should split up your money at all.
Right. I
just
agree.
do that. $100 on there, come away with 195.
Yep. And I think,
or do your Austin Butler thing, but that's for you to say now.
That's for me and my God, and both of us are putting some money on Austin Butler.
But you wouldn't put all 100 on that.
No. I mean, listen, I do think there is a very likely scenario in which Brendan Fraser does win the SAG this weekend and Austin Butler still wins the Oscar. Like I said, this is the one Fraser has to win. Butler does not have to win this weekend.
Okay. PGA.
Talking golf. Let's do it.
Now, PGA has also been something where Top Gun thinks it's going to thrive. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense because this movie, more than anything, is a feat of producing.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it exists, kind of the fact that Top Gun Maverick was released in theaters rather than sold to a streamer during the pandemic. That is what it should win this award for, because that is.
Yeah. Now, Everything Everywhere All at Once technically was never sold to a streamer.
Right.
But it did come out in the beginning of the year, which is why we think that it was available online, but it wasn't. It showed up on Showtime at a reasonable time, but after a theatrical release.
Oh, of course. No, Everything Everywhere was a big theatrical hit. No, when I say that, I mean the fact that Maverick was
it saved the movie industry.
It saved the movie industry, and there were streamers in 2020 that really wanted to pay a lot of money to immediately put it on streaming, and the producer Tom Cruise said, "We will not do that. We're holding this." And I think that is looked upon by Hollywood as a really noble thing.
Well, and I think that he saw the movie before that.
He knew, but he was right. He was right. I think we both agree, or at least I definitely think this is where Maverick gets its flowers.
Okay, there are, let's see, 10 movies in this category.
Okay.
Now, The Whale, The Glass Onion, Black Panther, Elvis, Tar, Avatar, The Banshees of Inisherin have no shot. They're all at plus 1,000 or above.
Right.
The only other movie that has any competition with Top Gun and Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, plus 200. Obviously, that's laughter. I'm laughing at that.
There's no chance. Yeah.
No, it's two movies, and one of them is Top Gun, and that is bonkers. What if what if Top Gun wins the PGAs and All Quiet won the BAFTAs? Then what the fuck would we think?
Yeah, I mean, Maverick has always been circling as a possibility for Best Picture, and I think we could get to that. Listen, after this weekend, after the SAGs and the PGAs, then we're going to be really talking the Academy Awards after that. So I do think that, listen, if Maverick has any shot at winning Best Picture at the Oscars, it has to win the PGA for Best Picture. This is make or break. This is the second miracle for Maverick.
Yeah.
Or this is the first miracle. That's right. This is winning the PGAs is the first miracle for Maverick. It has to pull it off.
Okay.
If it has any shot.
So last year, Coda won, same movie.
Yep.
The year before that, Nomadland, same movie.
Yep.
The year before that, 1917.
Nope.
Was that okay?
Parasite won.
Okay.
Parasite
and then
won.
Before that, Green Book, same movie.
Yep.
For that, Shape of Water, same movie. La La
Yep.
Land, obviously not Moonlight, but very close.
Very close.
Then The Big Short before that also didn't win.
Did not win.
Birdman did win.
Yep.
12 Years a Slave
Did win.
did win. Argo
Yep.
did win. Artist did win. King's Speech did win. Hurt
Yep.
Locker did win.
Did win.
Slumdog Millionaire did win.
Did win.
No Country for Old Men.
Did win.
Okay, so what we're looking at here,
The PGAs are a
It's
great predictor
me thinking that Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to win the PGAs. I'm sorry.
because you think it's too good of a predictor for Maverick to win.
I think there's only 2 movies in that list that did not win.
Yeah. I do think, though, this is such a special case where this is such a produced movie in a way that Everything Everywhere All at Once is, like you said, a well-directed, acted, edited
Okay.
movie.
Maverick
Maverick is a
Yeah.
feat of production.
I will say, in that sense, you're absolutely correct. Until you look at the past 2 winners of Coda and Nomadland, and I think it's back to Everything Everywhere.
True, but those are COVID years in which there were such small movies being nominated for all these awards. You know, like Nomadland basically beat out a bunch of movies that were playing on Hulu or whatever. And same thing with even Coda last year.
Nomadland was playing on Hulu.
Exactly.
How dare you?
Exactly. So I do think that those are sort of outlier years for these awards. And I get your logic. It would make sense that Everything Everywhere would win here if it's the favorite for the Oscar. I think Maverick, though, could still win this and still end up not winning the Oscar. I think this feels like a year where the PGA could be different.
You think this feels like a year let's say 1999 when Saving Private Ryan won the PGAs and that dumb Shakespeare in Love movie won the Oscar?
Or, I mean, listen, or a year like just a few years ago, 2019, 1917, which was the big, loud, very highly produced movie, won the PGA, but the Oscar went to the small movie Parasite.
But what about Green Book? The year before that, that was the small movie that no one thought was going to win. What was the?
That year was like Black Panther and Black Klansman. There wasn't
Roma, that was it.
And Roma, which
Bohemian Rhapsody, A Star Is Born, but Roma, I think, was the favorite.
Yeah, so there wasn't like a big movie that could have, Roma was also like a tiny
Netflix,
black and white movie about a
Hulu
dog
movie.
taking a shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is I think Maverick and specifically Tom Cruise, they feel like such heroes to the people who produce these movies that if you're going to honor that movie, it's going to be here. So I do think PGAs, I'm going to dig up a couple of coins, and I think I'm going to put some money on Top Gun Maverick for the PGAs. It's the first miracle. It's the first miracle.
Okay. I just don't know, Patty.
Well, listen, that's
Also,
the beauty.
it's so funny. That's the only award, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's
There's no other awards.
if
Well,
you
at
got
least not you can bet
if
on
you
it.
got a big enough main event, that's all you need, and that's the PGAs. They got that one thing, but that's all we need.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, Patty, we did it. They said
it.
we couldn't talk about all that in an hour, but it's exactly an hour.
Oh, we're great.
Check us out on Patreon. Check out the BO Boys. Check out Fraudsters. And put some goddamn money on these things. We're sick of just making all the money ourselves.
Yeah. Spread the wealth.
All right. Anything else to say?
No, that's it.
Okay. Love you guys. See you next week.